Griffin managed to get hold of a folding iPhone 3D printed mock-up, which was sent to you, right, by a listener, yeah?
Yeah, so this was printed and sent to me by Matt Van Ormer. Yeah, from the information, they had leaked like the screen size of the folding iPhone in a few dimensions. And I think from that, people just started making 3D models, because iPhone design has been kind of consistent for the last few years. So you can those are really the only few numbers that you need to like piece together what we think is a reasonable enough interpretation of what it could be like. Obviously like the hinges is different because in order to be a 3D printed thing, it needs a different kind of hinge. So the whole left side is probably not terribly accurate. But we've got, the thinness, the size and ratio of the displays, both outside and in the folding works.
Wow, they did an amazing job with that. Good God.
Oh yeah.
That's the best one I've ever seen.
And it's cosmic orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks fantastic. Send it to me. I want it.
I've been playing with this, and so I just have, it lets me get some first impressions with what we think the physical object might be. So the inner display measures 6.5 inches wide by 4.5 inches tall, a 4:3 aspect ratio. The display on the front, 3 inches wide by 4.5 inches tall, so 3:2 aspect ratio. It is the shortest screen since the iPhone 4. Or like, sorry, shortest
You
phone.
have one around.
Yep. It's weird. Like, try and picture this. A phone that's as short as an iPhone 4, but still wider than the widest phone Apple even currently makes. It's really kind of weird to look at.
Shorter and stubbier.
It's stout.
Yeah, very stout. Because it's so stout, I was curious to see how that would affect how well it rocks on a table. And it's surprisingly stable, at least in the folded position. But then you unfold it, and it's like the worst you can possibly imagine. Because then when it's unfolded, it's much wider than any other phone has ever been. Mm-hmm. So the rocking is interesting. Holding it in the hand, because it's so wide, I can't really reach my thumb all the way across when it's folded up. I can get 80% of the way, so long as I'm like actually gripping it on both sides with like my fingers on one side, my palm on the other side. Like I can't really reach across because again, it's as wide as a plus sized phone. And that's before this is even in a case. But the nice thing is for the first time and as long as I can remember, like I can actually touch the top of the screen. Mm-hmm. I just have to slide a little bit, and I can even touch the dynamic island on the top. Well, I can touch where I can imagine the back button or the status bar would be.
To be fair, even I've got an iPhone 17 Pro here in my hand now, and I can't reach the screen unless I shift it in my grip. Like if I'm holding it the way you were holding it with my fingers wrapped around the far edge, you can't do that with your thumb. You have to kind of shift it around.
Like with my current phone, I just can't reach the top at all.
Yeah.
And that's just something I've had to live with. And it's kind of like, it's nice that I can imagine I'll get that back now. And then when I unfold it, I'm holding it like two-handed, one hand on each side. I've got like really incredible range over it. Like there's the sort of triangle in the top center that I can't reach, but my thumbs can reach the top of both sides of the screen, the whole bottom of both sides of the screen, and most of the middle, like almost all of the content area. So I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I can hold it one-handed, but without having the real weight, I can't really judge how well that'll be able to work, but surprisingly ergonomic.
Yeah, and about the size of an iPad mini screen too, right? So not a bad size.
Yeah, I think this is like 7.7 inches, and the iPad mini is 7.9. So it's basically an iPad mini you can hold in your pocket. Yeah. And it's even thinner than an iPad mini, so it's got that going for it.
And when it's folded up, how bulky is it?
Yeah, that's what people are saying. Like, I don't want a phone that's twice as thick, but it's really not twice as thick. It's a little bit thicker than an iPhone 16 Pro, maybe like an extra 20% thicker, but it's really not that much thicker. Mm-hmm. If you have a case on your phone, then you've got a thicker phone than this when it's folded.
Wow.
Because it's based on the iPhone Air engineering, so it's got that super thin design all the way around the edge. With like what'll probably be like the 3D printed metal USB-C port, just so they can make it as thin as humanly possible. Mm-hmm. This got me thinking for the first time. what are they going to do with the buttons? Because, as you know, every iPhone has the volume buttons and now the action button on the left side. But if you think about it, this phone doesn't really have a left side. It has a hinge on the left. It has two right sides. So you might think, oh, well, just put the volume buttons on one half and the power buttons on the other half. But that means that then when it's folded up, like, how are you going to tell which button you're pressing? Because then all of your buttons will be like right next to each other.
Right. Yeah, good point.
This model, I don't know how accurate it is, like whether this is based on information or something, but this 3D printed model has like what looks like a skinny like action button sized thing, and then one singular like pill shaped button below. So those are the only two buttons on it, and they're both on like the right edge. And if that's like based on actual information, I mean, that raises a lot of questions. Like, what are these buttons and what do they do? Maybe that's an action button, and maybe they've found a way to like combine the power and volume buttons into one. Maybe it's like a sort of like triple, maybe it's got like 3 micro switches under it so that you can like.
They did have that before, didn't they? What was it? An older iPod Touch or someone, because we did a story about this. I'm sure we did it about a couple of years ago. Like, let's bring back the old combined home and volume button.
On the wired headphones, they had like one single pill-shaped thing where like you had to click the top of it to do volume up, you clicked the bottom of it to do volume down, and then you clicked the middle to do like the middle action.
Right.
And that's could be what they do here. This button doesn't really seem big enough for that. But the other theory that I had was maybe this is sort of like a camera control style thing where it's a button that clicks in for, sleep, wake, and the voice assistant, but then you slide your finger up and down to control the volume up, volume down. That seems like the nightmarish kind of thing Apple might do, honestly.
Well, what about putting the home button on the top, like with some iPads?
Yeah, they could do that. They could split it up so that you have a button on the top. I mean, they haven't had a button on the top since the iPhone 5S, so that they could do that again. This model doesn't have a button on the top, but it's again, I don't know how accurate the buttons are on this. It says it was based on some like CAD files, but I don't know, we'll see. It also got the question of what are they going to do with the speakers and microphones? Like the iPhone Air, it was so limited on space that it only had a speaker on top, and that was its only speaker, and it just had like a microphone on the bottom. This model, it had, the folding iPhone, it has like, I think I did the math, over 75% more area than the iPhone Air. So certainly they have room for more stuff, and they have more edges as well. But on the bottom, at least, you have the USB port on one of the halves, and then a single set of holes on the other half. And presumably if it's on the bottom, it has to be a microphone, right? So that when you're holding up to your ear, the microphone's by your mouth. Maybe this is like a combined microphone and speaker in the same set of holes. But that's kind of interesting. And then on the top, you have like a full set of holes on one half, and then just like 2 holes on the other half. So presumably that's another microphone, because your phone has a bunch of microphones all over it just for the whole spatial audio thing and noise cancellation. So presumably that's another microphone, and then that's at least a speaker. But is that the one and only set of speakers? It would be kind of disappointing if you spend like $2,000 on a phone that's like the Ultra iPhone and it doesn't have stereo sound. So I don't know how accurate this model is, but I'm hoping that the folding iPhone has stereo speakers.
They would have to get that stereo effect when it's unfolded, they'd have to have a speaker on one on each side.
They're also on opposite halves. So maybe you've got like a speaker on the bottom left half and a speaker on the top right half. And so that way you get stereo sound no matter which way you're holding it, portrait, horizontal, vertical, open, closed.
Yeah.
That would be kind of funky. But
yeah,
that's another unknown right now.
Well, you've been playing around with it, right? What's it like to put it in your pocket and just and hold it up to your face and
putting it in your pocket? Because it's about as wide as a plus size phone. So it's if you can fit a plus size phone in your pocket, then you're already good. And in fact, it'll be a little better than that because it's not as tall. So, it's not going to stick out of your pocket if you have a shallow pocket. The annoying thing is that, the cameras protrude quite a bit, but that's not anything unique to this phone. The cameras protrude on all of the phones now. The one thing that's different about it is that it's got the sharp corner. The corner on the final actual production model won't be as like sharp as this one. It'll be rounded a little bit, but there's not that much Apple can do to like round it too much because it has to be, part of the middle of the phone when it's unfolded. So, the corner is something to watch out for. Like it does catch on my pocket when I'm trying to pull it out sometimes. It catches a little bit when I'm trying to put it in. It's not the rounded corner that you're used to, so you do have to be a little more careful how you put it in and take it out of your pocket. But other than that, like once it's in there, it's, an unusual shape, but it still fits in just fine.
Yeah. Jeff Hawkins, I remember he was the inventor of the Palm Pilot. Remember that, the old Palm Pilot? And he carried around a model of the Palm Pilot for about a year, which he pretended to use. It was, it wasn't a working model, but he was writing he invented this handwriting technique called graffiti that was made it easier to input to do the handwriting recognition on the device. And I thought it was really funny that he carried around for about a year or so just to sort of see what the use case was like and to refine it. And I guess, you should be doing that with this thing as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've been picking it up like every few hours on my desk. It's hard to resist. It's just, it's a dummy thing, but it's still just so cool.
The outside screen, when you turn it over, I mean, that's kind of an odd looking device.
It is an odd view. Unfolded on the back, you've got like the back of a phone, but stubby, and then like half of black glass on the other half. It's an odd look. I'll give you that.
With with the current folding devices, does that outside screen continue to function when it's unfolded, or do they disable it?
No, like once you open, like it moves to the inside, and then it sort of stops. And some of them have like special like camera modes where you can sit it up and use both screens at once, like to help you take a picture or something. But or some of them have a mode where you can unfold it, but like if you're trying to take a selfie, you can hold it like this, where you've got the nice cameras pointing at you, and you've got a preview on your screen on the other half to try and take a picture.
Yeah,
it enables a few neat things. Or you can prop it up like this, so you've got the back of it down on the surface, and then you can sort of hold it up and watch a video on the outer screen. But generally, like for using it, once you open it, like it turns off the outer display so that your fingers on the back of it aren't messing with anything.
It's quite delightful. I'm super excited about it. That I can't wait to see this thing. That model is amazing.
I can't wait to see it, but I cannot imagine what would make me buy that.
The fact that it's a little iPad mini, although I'm not a huge fan of the iPad mini, I find it too small. I prefer a larger screen iPad for iPad-like things. But the idea of having a little tiny computer in your pocket that this affords more so than an iPhone.
I bet current iPad users who like love the iPad for the iPad will probably not be satisfied with this. But for the people like me, I don't want to have to buy both a phone and an iPad. It's kind of like I've got like a small iPad for free because I've built into the same device.
For free.
Well, not for free,
Right.
for a giant amount of money, but yeah.
Well, Matt did an amazing job there. Thank you so much, Matt. That is absolutely fantastic. What a great model.
I had one final thought about the cameras. My guess is they're probably going to be like a regular camera and the ultra wide camera, just because that's what Apple does whenever they have a phone with two cameras these days. But when I really saw them arranged this way, like it's kind of, imagine like the iPhone Air Plateau, and then the cameras are side by side, like along the top edge of the phone. That's not how Apple arranges their cameras on normal phones. They're always top and bottom instead of side by side like this. And that got me thinking a bit. Like usually, this is such an obvious thing that nobody ever thinks about it. But on every other iPhone, the camera sensor is always like oriented the same way that the screen is. So, when you're holding your iPhone in portrait and you take a picture, you've got a portrait picture, right? But this phone doesn't really have a fixed portrait or horizontal mode. It has a portrait screen and a horizontal screen. So I was thinking like, well, which way is the camera sensor going to go? I think this might actually be the first iPhone that has a horizontal camera sensor in it. Because if you think about it, like if you unfold it, then you've got a 4:3 horizontal screen. And that's the screen where you'll want like the big, excellent, camera preview, not letterboxed or anything. If you're taking a picture like unfolded, you'll probably want a horizontal camera sensor. And especially if you're trying to take spatial video, you need the two lenses to be side by side for that, so that they can do like the sort of human eye style, like stereoscopic vision. And that also needs them to be horizontal. So that also means that when you're taking a picture on the front screen, you'll have like a horizontal camera image on a vertical screen. And that'll, like, I guess I haven't researched how other foldable phones like approach this problem, but and we'll see how Apple, solves for those like weird little design problems.
Yeah.
So it's only made me more excited for this phone, really. It's still 8 months away.
Yeah, and there haven't been any supply chain leaks about it yet. No components, no ribbon cables.
Supposedly they've entered like design validation testing, so they've done a small production run of these and validated those. But I mean, as they start ramping up production in like the summer or so, well, I think that's when we'll see the flurry of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm quite excited about it, especially in the orange color. Are you still in love with the orange color, Lewis?
It's fine. I don't wake up every day going, wow, my phone's orange.
What about the stickers? Is there room for stickers? That's the most important question.
Oh yeah, plenty of room for stickers on this thing.
I'm gonna put a couple stickers on there for sure.
What kind of case is it going to have? I mean, the case is going to have some kind of...
That's what I was wondering. I bet it's going to have to be like a two-piece case almost, because otherwise it's going to have to bend a million times without fraying.
I saw somebody who had a foldable phone, one of the newer Samsung foldables over the holidays, and they had a really interesting case where it's sort of like a bumper case where it has like two separate pieces that go on each half, but then it has a spine going down the middle like a book, so that when you unfold it, each half of the case goes like sort of into the spine, and then the spine can like unfold into be like a little kickstand. So maybe that's the kind of thing they'll do.
If it does have a spine like a book, then it's going to be even more. Would that help with the stability with the cameras, or make it even more unstable? Probably
Plus,
worse.
it's going to be like a crumb catcher.
If it, I mean, I don't know if they could do that kind of case on this one, because it has the camera plateau that goes all the way out to the middle, so they wouldn't be able to have like it perfectly centered. I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see what the third party people do.
All right, cool. Well, very interesting. Really good demo. You got a really good feel for it now.